Hi there. So today I want to talk about something that may be a little, so I want to qualify it before I hop into it. Because when you see on Facebook or people start talking about, I don't know, aliens and being star seeds and 3D versus 5D and what's it all mean? I pride myself in coming from a scientific research mindset. If anything, I would call myself a pragmatic, practical mystic because I do explore metaphysics because it's valid. But when it starts encompassing things that are just way out there, I have issue with it. So I really stick with quantum mechanics, neuroscience, a little bit of epigenetics, and advanced psychology. So when we talk about the different dimensions, and I have done a video recently on different dimensions, but what I want to talk about today is why people think that there's such an issue with creating in a different reality. And people get stuck with it. It's like, what does that mean? How do I do it? So let me just clarify. We know right now in science that there is at least 12 dimensions. And what that means is I'm sitting here right now in the third dimension. It means we live in a 3D reality, right? So for a piece of paper, that's a 1D. It's a one-dimensional reality. But for us humans in the physical world, this is a three-dimensional reality. And so you see 3D written or at a post or something, and it means this third dimension reality. What we know, though, is that all of these other dimensions also exist at the same time. And this is where it gets a little bit like Twilight Zone, right? Da, 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 da. That's kind of Twilight Zone. What's going on here? What do you mean other dimensions? You know, is it possible that beings or, you know, extraterrestrial or whatever you want to call it, that's not where I spend my time researching or studying. So I claim no extra knowledge on that. But there are people who have extrasensory perception who say that they are right here at the same time as us. It's just that we cannot see. So I don't know whether that's true or not, but here's what I do know scientifically that's true. I know that there are multiple dimensions going on at the same time. I do know that because our mode of interpretation is vibrational. So when I hear things, it's vibration. When I see things, it's light vibration. When I feel things, it's kinetic vibration. And here's what's really important about the sight part. What we see is that the spectrum of sight goes way beyond the frame of this video. But we can only see this much. We can't see, like, I don't want to know if it's infrared or what, but there's certain spectrums that we just can't see. So it would be foolish and ignorant as the flat earthers who said, no, the world can't be round. It would be really ignorant of us to say there isn't things that we can't see, because absolutely there are things that we can't see. Okay, so all of that was a preface for today's topic, which is why you can't create in the fifth dimension from the third dimension. Now, are you wondering if I skipped a grade and went right from 3 to 5? I kind of did. This is something that is well known, but I don't know how scientific it is. So I'm just, I'm always really upfront about it, but it seems to be well known. So I've just adopted it because it's what everyone teaches. And it seems to me to be true. Okay, I'm just going to say it seems to me. I don't have anything documented on this. I like to be really upfront about it. So we know the 3D is right here. Well, the 5D is where, let's just call it a different reality that you want to step into. One where maybe you're 10 pounds lighter, you have the love of your life, you own a beautiful home, clients are coming to you left and right. That would be your 5D. So what is said and understood, I should say, is that the fourth dimension is our imagination. I call it your super conscious. I call it that level of mind when you're between active beta brainwave and a little bit deeper than alpha brainwave. And you're literally in a different dimension because you're seeing things to such an extent you feel them then you are in a different dimension. Just follow me here. And with enough time and effort and focus, eventually serendipities, situations will come to pass, and you'll be like, oh wow, that's crazy. Or if you go with the many worlds theory of Hugh Everett, very famous quantum physicist, maybe you don't notice the difference. There's something in quantum physics called the Mandela effect, where certain people have certain memories of things in history and they are opposing. And it's just like one of them was, I read a list of them recently. One of them was, remember Richard Simmons, the workout guru? He never had a headband. And there are many people who say, yeah, he wore a headband. Remember he had the frizzy hair? But he never did. There's not any record of it. And the big famous one is the Mandela effect, where certain people remember that Nelson Mandela was assassinated, but he never was. So there are things like that, and I know I can't think of the rest of them, but it's really fascinating. If you want to do a Google search and look up examples of the Mandela effect, you might even be surprised with what you know. Oh, I know another one. The Monopoly game, the little, whatever his name was, the little guy, the little silver guy, he never had a spectacle in his eye. He never wore an eye spectacle. And I remember that he did, but he never did. So different things like that. And it just goes to tell you that we could jump a timeline, but we're not aware that we did. And some people, if you get really into this stuff, some people call it a glitch in the matrix. I don't know. It's possible. The point being, where my expertise comes into play and where my pragmatic mysticism comes into play is I see too many people trying to create in the fourth dimension, to create the fifth dimension reality that they want, but they're doing it from the third dimension. And that's what this is all about. That's what all my rambling is about. You are here in the 3D. You cannot, from the 3D, create a 5D reality. You can't skip a grade. You have to go into the 4D. I swear it is the biggest challenge that not just my clients and not my many readers over the years, but just people in general, and it includes myself, because to get into the 4D has some requirements. And the first and worst and hardest and most challenging is, in order to step into the 4D, you have to completely disconnect from the 3D. I want you to think of it like this. You can only be in one dimension at a time. So right now we're in the 3D. I'm wide awake. I'm talking to you. Hopefully you're listening. Maybe you're scrolling Facebook, whatever. But if you want to go into the 4D, you have to close your eyes. Not just close your eyes. You have to reduce your brain waves. Whether you listen to, binaural beats with headphones on, or maybe you just do some yoga, or you step outside and you bask in the sunshine, whatever it takes for you to get in that physical and mental and emotional state of relaxation. And you want to be in that state of relaxation to such an extent that you're not noticing your physical sensations. You're not noticing that you're still here sitting in this 3 dimension. You're like literally, that feeling when you're drifting to sleep. But the tricky part is, what happens when we're there? We drift asleep. But you have to keep and maintain an alertness and that level of awareness and awakeness. So it's like this, Neville Goddard called it akin to sleep. And it's that state that's between sleepfulness and wakefulness. From there, because you're in the 4D right then, and then you start imagining the thing that you want to bring into your life. You start imagining the outcome that you'd like to create. What is the visual of that? What is the audio of that? Here's someone talking to you. What is the kinetic of that? Do you feel sand on your skin? Do you feel the sun on your skin? Right? Get all of your senses involved. Maybe you're having a sip of champagne at a celebratory dinner. Do you taste it? Getting your 5 senses involved when in that relaxed state, in that 4th dimensional state of between things, it has everything to do with your success. And then after you've got the senses involved, now you want to cultivate the emotions, the excitement, the gratitude, the joy of this outcome that you've created, right? It's here now. And we know this. This is something, it's a universal law. Everything that you want to create is here right now. I mean, I have people say, no, I want $1 million business and it's not here right now. And I'll say, yeah, it is. It's here right now. You can't see it because you haven't seen it. Okay? Tough love, because this is true. You can't see it because you haven't seen it. You go into the fourth dimension. You relax your body and your brain. You see a vision of that $1 million business. You cultivate those feelings of gratitude, excitement, joy, appreciation. And you bask in that energy for a few minutes. Doesn't have to be 20 minutes. It can be 3 minutes. But you have to get to the point of basking. I always call it basking. And you do that, and then you open your eyes and you tell me that you didn't see it. Because you did. And if you see it, then you can begin to be it. Okay? So you're in that fourth dimension reality right there, and you're creating it. And you have to know, I like to say scientific certainty, but if you are a person of any kind of faith, by all means, use faith. I am a big person of faith. I have faith. My definition of faith is knowing something is true before I see evidence of it. That's it. It doesn't have to be in an entity or an avatar or some kind of God. It doesn't have to be. But have faith and have certainty in science, right? So when you've created something in your mind, we know you've created it in the quantum field. And once you've created it in the quantum field, that means the invisible substance that you're impressing it with your emotions, with your thoughts, with your images. You're impressing upon it. And it's making the non-physical form into physical. And when you start seeing it in your reality, that's a 5D result. Do you get that? The tricky part about it is, and again, I can't substantiate this with solid science, just a lot of people that I trust a lot. But the tricky part about it is you might not know that you've actually gone into the 5D. Because it's not like open your eyes and be like, wow, where'd I get that Maserati? It's just like you have a Maserati. You see what I mean? So practicing gratitude. And one of the things I say, and I know this gets really trippy. One of the things I say is whenever I see something throughout my life and my day, I just give great appreciation for it. Because for all I know, I might not have had that a week ago. And this is just something I've been blessed with. Maybe in a different timeline it was taken away from me. Or maybe I didn't have one at all. And so I'm just grateful. I mean, I get excited when I see my phone, my dogs, my house, right? I'm just excited all the time. Like, wow, this is so great. I'm so lucky. As if I'm seeing it for the first time. I do that all the time. Because that energy is going to perpetuate into higher and higher and higher frequencies. Because my goal is to be creating in the fourth dimension all the time so that I can enjoy and live in the fifth dimension, even though I think it's still in the 3 dimension. I know that's crazy, but bear with me. So to sum this all up, when you're just awake and listening and talking, you are definitely in the 3-dimensional. And you cannot create something new when you're not disconnected from something old. And that something that you want to create with is one level up. It's that relaxed state, that imagination, that joy, that appreciation, that image, that all the senses. Yeah. So anyway, I hope that you found that interesting. I have a free workshop that is going to be on Tuesday, the 14th of January at 10 a.m. And I will put a link below so that you can see it. I think this video will air on Monday the 13th. So if you see it, you'll have one day to sign up for it, but I'll put the link below. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching.